Today is Monday, August 21st, and welcome to the Safe Wheel live stream where I share my real P&L on three accounts and teach my proprietary Safe Wheel options trading system. Please type in the chat that you can hear me okay. I want to make sure my audio is working. And also be sure to post any questions that you might have. Post them earlier rather than later. I want to make sure that I get to those before the end of the broadcast. All right. Loud and clear. Thank you. Okay, good. Appreciate that, guys. All right, so let's get into what happened last week. We are talking about the earnings edge. So I'm trading three systems here, and the first one is the earnings edge. And last week I got into Baidu, and held that one all the way till Friday, and then got out for a $480 profit. You can see it right there, $480 profit. So that was a good win. Um, Obviously, I prefer to make more money, but that's fine. I think my last two trades before this one were break evens. Let's look at the spreadsheet here, see how I'm doing with that. I haven't updated this. So it looks like my record now is 34 wins and 14. Oh, my average win and loss. Let's see. I don't think I put it in here. Did I put it in here? No. So Baidu 480. Okay. So let's see how that affects my average win loss. Where are we here? Baidu. Did Baidu $180? That's what I made. So average win. So I've got 14 wins. This is since I changed the system. I did a tweak to it in mid 2020, October of 2022. And my record is 14, 12, and 5. 14 wins, 12 losses, 5 break evens. And my average win is $945. Average loss, $443. So it's about a 50% win rate, a little better than that right now. I wouldn't expect more than better than that 50% win rate. Let's see what is my current balance. 96.89. 96.89. What's the S&P doing? What's S&P? Our SPY is trading at 437.74. 437.74. Okay. So as you may have already heard, my earnings edge is 63% in 2022. The S&P was down 19.5%. So far in 2023, looks like we passed the S&P here, up 18.5% with the earnings edge. The S&P is up 14.46 year to date. And if you continue, now I started trading the earnings edge live in January of 2022. So these are the numbers. I'm up 93.78%. The S&P is down 7.84% since January, since the beginning of 2022. The S&P is down 7.84%. So vastly outperforming there, but of course there is a lot more volatility with this. I'd say probably the volatility could be 4 or 5 times higher with the earnings edge. So if you like volatility, if you're okay with volatility, you want to take some risk, the system's working pretty well. All right, let's talk about the Premier Level 5. The Premier Level 5 is very good. Last week, we pretty much cleared the board. Let's go into that. When I say clear the board, I mean most of the trades came off. So what I mean by that is I had 4 trades on that were open, and now I'm down to 1 trade being open. Here's my balance, 36,168. Let me put that in there. 36,168. 168. Okay. So like I said, had a really good week, hit profit target on 3 trades. Only have 1 trade left open. My record is 21 wins, 7 losses, and 7 break evens. And you can see with the PL5, I started it on April 8th of 2022. And you can see that I'm up 12.2% in 2022, where the S&P from April 8th was down 6.39%. Now, 2023, I'm underperforming about half as what the S&P is doing, but I have about maybe one-fourth the drawdowns. I have to run those numbers again, but the numbers are about one-fourth the drawdowns. So you have to look at it from a risk-adjusted basis. And you can also look at it from inception. The PL5 is up 20.5%, where the S&P is only up 7.15%. So outperforming there on that. And then also outperforming on a risk-adjusted basis by a lot. So that's really where the key is. When you start putting in more money, you start, putting more money into a system, you want to get more conservative. You don't like those drawdowns. You don't want to blow out your account or anything. If you have a smaller account, what do I mean by that? $5,000, $10,000. Now, maybe that's not small to you, but I consider that smaller. You can take some more risk with that. Not at the end of the world if you lose 5,000, But if you got $30,000 or more, you want to conserve that. It's time to conserve that capital, and that's what the Premier Level 5 is for. All right, let's get into the safe wheel, right? Safe wheel. So let's talk about that so you can see my P&L. P&L 6236. 6236. Let's take a look at that. So it looks like it's down. 6236. Came down a little bit. Safe Wheel, of course, did 21.7% versus minus 19 in 2022. In 2023, underperforming here, 2.5% versus 14.5%. But overall, since I started trading the Safe Wheel live, everyone's seen my account from day one, up 24.7% versus the S&P down 7.84%. So vastly outperforming there. I would say the drawdowns are fairly similar, a little bit lower with back tests and everything. My forward test, in other words, my real money drawdowns are significantly lower, but when you do the back test, they're close. So the risk adjusted returns are very similar. So you have to just straight up see what the returns are, and that's a good indication as to what's outperforming what, because the risk and reward are pretty similar. Okay, so you can see 24.5 over minus 8, vastly outperforming since I started trading this live in 2022. All right. What's going on now? Well, the first question I have to ask myself here is my put hedge. But I don't really want to get into managing my put hedge because I have 200 shares. So that means that I'm in my second tier. I'm in tier 2. When I'm in tier 2, I don't manage my put hedge. I leave it alone because it's in a position to help me and I don't want to mess with it. So you can see I paid $1.56 for it. It's worth $2.19. So it's in that profit mode, or in a mode where it's doing its job. So I don't want to make any adjustments on it. I leave it alone. Also on Friday, I rolled my long call. So I have a long call that expires in 4 days. So that's taken care of. So now we're just talking about my 200 shares. Now I know I have 200 shares because I can see it. And so when I look at the flow chart, if I own 200 shares, let's say I own 100 shares, I would do something. I would look at the flow chart. I own 100 shares. I do that. Or I don't own any shares. I do that. Or I own 200 shares. Now I'm going to go down the flow chart. What do I do with 200 shares? What do I do? Well, I look at each 100 share increment when I got assigned. What were my assignment prices? Right. So I looked here and I got assigned at $30.50. I can see it here. And I got assigned at $28. So knowing those two assignment prices, I'm going to make my decisions based on that. because I don't want to sell a call against my shares below my assigned price, because then I would take a loss if I got assigned. So I'm looking this from a point of view of $30.50, and then I'm looking at it from $28. So let's go into the trade. I'm going to use the expiration that comes out this Friday, at the end of the week, and I'm going to look at $30.50, and can I sell anything against it? I can, but is it worth? See, DKNG is trading at $27. I want to get at least 27 cents, and I can't get it, so I can't sell against that. But can I sell against the 28? I can, and I'm going to sell a covered call against my $28. That's my assigned price. I'm going to sell a covered call against that. Maybe I can get 28 bucks for it. Okay, so I was able to barely get enough premium to make it worthwhile. So I was able to sell against my $28 assigned price. Now, I would have preferred to come out of the money and sell at $28.50 or $29, but there wasn't enough premium because I want to get at least 1% or about $27. Now, if it was $26 or maybe $25, I probably still would have done it. You know, it's close enough. It's because if I was not able to sell any covered calls against my 200 shares, I would exit the position. And exiting the position today would have been the position's in a sour spot, not a sweet spot. It's in a sour spot where it's a loss on my 200 shares, but also my put hedge is not hedging me enough to put me into a profit. And so it's in that little sour spot. But sometimes you just got to take a loss. So that could have definitely happened today, but it did not. So I was able to sell a covered call against 100 of my 200 shares. Okay, so now that everything's been managed, right? I'll get into any questions you guys might have. Let's start here with Wood 3. Would you consider TNA a good stock for the safe wheel? I don't know. Let's take a look. TNA. Okay, the price is within $20 to $40. Here's it's possible. It's a possible stock. There's a few other filters that I would want to look at, but so far the initial filters, yeah, TNA. Do I have them on my list? Yeah, I already have them on my list. So, yeah. Okay. All right, you guys hear me? Horacio says it's working. Richard Bauer, I can hear you loud. Audio good. Jerry. Charles, what's your P&L on DKNG right now? That's a question I have to do a lot of calculations with, but you can see I'm up $200 this year. And I think I've been doing DKNG before the year, but I don't remember. To be honest with you, I'm probably up. This isn't going to tell me what I've done in 2022 with DKNG specifically. So I guess I really don't have a hard answer for that. Charles, would appreciate seeing the equity curves for the earnings edge and the safe wheel. I'm not going to go through all that right now because I have to log into my account, make sure that my account number isn't showing, and it's not just an easy process. But I can write that down and possibly post it. Let me just write that down. Equity curves. Safe wheel. EE. All right. do you monetize your YouTube channel? Yes, I do. I do have ads. I do turn on the ads for my YouTube channel. Kevin, good morning from Lakeview. Good morning, Kevin. Less is more. When considering new candidates, would a good final filter be to consider stocks that are down for the day to get a better premium? No, I think that's too much into the weeds. It would add too much detail to the safe wheel system, and it's pretty detailed as it is, and that would just add more detail that I think isn't necessarily necessary, because um, in the end, it's just all going to play out. It's a quantitative system. Iraqi trader says 29.5 was my price. I'm not sure. When I looked, are you talking about the price I got assigned? Let's take a look at that. So, price I got assigned, I'm assuming you're talking about that. DKNG. I'm pretty sure I got assigned at the $28 put here, and then the last put I sold looks like it was the $30.50, not the $29.50. If that's what you mean. IT, Carl, in your safe wheel course, how do you decide when to roll your call or let it expire? I roll the call every Friday. So I've decided to not let it expire. If it's worth any money on Friday, I will take that money. I will sell it. It'll be in the money, and I'll sell it for whatever I can get for it. And then I'll buy another call on the following Friday. So it's a time thing. I do it every Friday at the end of the day. So it's not necessarily whether I let it expire or roll or what. Every Friday at the end of the day, I roll it. So it's more about time. $29.25. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Maybe expand on that. Will, on Friday, did you buy a $5 call? Yes. Well, I paid $6 for it. So I got out of my 33 call that was expiring, and I went into the 30.50 call. That was the call that I purchased last Friday, it looks like. Let me just look at my positions to make sure. Yeah, see, I own the 30.50 call, and it says I paid $7, but I also collected 1 cent on the sale of the other one, so I ended up paying $6. Tyler, if you get called away on the $28 call, how do you assign those shares to the 100 shares that you were assigned at 28, not the 30.50? It's difficult to track this on TOS. Yeah, for tax purposes, man, I'm not a tax guy. I'll tell you that right now. I just know I have 100 shares, and I obviously know that I was assigned at the $28 strike, not the $30.50 strike, because it was a lower strike. So I just know that was the one that goes away. And now my new basis, or my new assigned price that I deal with, is $30.50. It might show up, the $28 one might stay, and the $30.50 one might go away on my platform. So I kind of have to keep track of that. Some guys, so you would only close out if you couldn't sell a covered call on at least 100 shares. That is correct. At what price would the put hedge start to cover your losses, assuming the stock keeps falling? It's different with every scenario, and I would just merely have to take a look at it. But I already know, okay, you can see that this position, well, you can see I'm down $489 as we sit, and this one's up $209. So that gives you a ballpark idea of a $300 difference. So I have to look at this put and see that it's at least outpacing uh, this number here. This number needs to be outpacing this number. And that would tell me uh, that the put hedge is paying off. At what price would DK and G be? I'm not sure. I don't think of it that way. I think of it as, I'll look it up. At what price would the put hedge? Yeah, I don't know. That's why I just answered there. Okay. Mark, would you consider creating a trading journal for the safe wheel trade so members can see how the P&L plays out over the life of the trade? I guess I could consider it. That would be an administrative task. Right now, I probably would not consider it, but it is possible in the future if I had a lot more demand for that. This is the first time, I think, maybe a couple people have asked that, but not too many. Oh, I see. Araki says take the average price, and the average price is $29.25, and use that. Uh, yeah, that could be one way if you wanted to do the safe wheel that way. Definitely could be. But if I did that, I wouldn't be able to sell any premium today. And I would be kind of stuck in the mud. Or I would have to get out and start over. Will, in this position, I still think it's safer to buy the $5 put rather than the $5 call for protection. The downward protection is so weak compared to the upside on the risk graph. Could make sense. Needs to be back tested. And yeah, throw that in a back test, see if that works. And you could be correct. Yeah, when you look at the risk graph. But again, this isn't really based on the risk graph. It's based on percentages. I mean, it's not a risk graph or I don't use the Greeks or anything like that. It's all about percentages. So can I get 1% premium kind of thing? Alfred, you're paying more premium for your 3 put hedges. How would you be profitable? It is because you think the loss of 3 long-term puts will be smaller than the weekly premium collected. Yes, that is correct. That is basically what I'm trying to do, is keep up with the depreciation of the put hedge. But also when I get into a scenario where I get assigned and then I get called away, if I can sell calls out of the money and then get assigned, that's where the system accelerates or grows. And in the meantime, I'm trying to make a little bit of money by outpacing the depreciation of my put hedges. All right. He's referring to your cost basis. Yeah, that $29.25. When considering exiting the safe whale position, do you only consider the value of the put hedge and stock price, or do you also consider the cumulative premium collected since you started the wheel? When I'm considering exiting because my put hedge is working for me and it's time to use the hedge to get out, I don't consider the premium that I've collected. I just look at it, compare it to the 200 shares. And if it's outpaced the 200 shares, then I get out, because I know I got out for a profit because I collect premium along the way. So I don't add in the premium when I make that calculation of using the put hedge to get me out of a position. Joel, what do you use option net for if thinkorswim can backtest? Well, you're making a good point. Maybe I can look at thinkorswim to do backtest, but they're not. Thinkorswim is just a little more clanky, a lot more. OptionNet Explorer is very smooth and a little easier to use when it comes to backtesting. Alex, thank you, Carl, for everything you do. If you have a situation where you need to close the entire position, do you start over with DKNG or start with a new stock? At that time, whenever, like for example, if I were to close out everything in the position, I could go to any stock. I am starting over with a blank slate. I could go to any stock. I like DKNG, so I would probably stay with it, but I could technically go with any stock that meets the criteria. In fact, anytime I get rid of my put hedge, if I don't own shares and I get rid of my put hedge, I could change stocks at that moment. Marcelo, Carl, regarding rolling the call on Friday, do we need to get filled on Friday? Yes, I make sure I get filled. I don't want to be. The goal is to have some protection over the weekend because um, a lot of times I don't own any shares and I just own a put hedge. Obviously, this weekend it wouldn't have been that big, more of a big deal because I own 200 shares, so I would have been fine. But a majority of the time, I don't own shares, and I do want to protect my put hedge, and so I do want to get filled on Friday. So I'll do whatever it takes to get filled. Um, Sometimes I will try to get like the lowest call that I can get. So maybe I went for the $30 call. I tried to get filled at a price I liked. It didn't get filled, so went ahead and moved up to the $30.50 call, willing to move up a strike to make sure I get filled on Friday. Lesson More says, remind everyone to hit that like button. Yeah, just that would help out a lot, help other people, help my reach. I'd appreciate it a lot if you just reached over with your mouse right now and just hit that little click, that little like button. That would help me out quite a bit. Okay, let me go through here. Yes, hit the like button, subscribe, notification bell if you are having trouble finding this live and you're watching it delayed. You want to be subscribed and you want to hit the notification bell on my channel because the notification bell will give you a notification about when my live streams are coming up so you can be here live. That way you can ask questions. Okay, I don't see any more questions. I appreciate everyone being here. And one thing I like to say before I part, if the P&L is not real, what else are they trying to conceal? I'll be back next week.